We are live from Studio A inside Gaylord College at the University of Oklahoma, ready to talk all things Sooner sports. With OU baseball joining us tonight for an exclusive interview. OU football looked to defeat the Ole Miss Rebels for the first time in program history. I'm your host, Aiden Tyler. I'm joined by Cam Williams and Hallie McPherson, and this is a spooky Sooner Sports Pad.
Welcome to Sooner Sports Pad, presented by OU Health. Proud to be Oklahoma's flagship academic health system.
It was an action-packed weekend for OU sports. OU football played host to Ole Miss, and what the SEC is trying to make a rivalry. We'll have reports on Saturday's pseudo-rivalry game. But football isn't the only sport we're talking about. OU baseball has slid into the studio for an exclusive interview. Their fall season is still going strong. We'll also bring you what you need to know about Sooners at the next level. OU football looked to legitimize themselves as true playoff contenders by outrunning the lane train. Like I mentioned earlier, the Sooners have never beat Ole Miss in program history. In the second quarter, Isaiah Satania would catch this little in route and take it 76 yards to the house on that pass from John Mateer. He had some literal track speed, makes it 10-10. And in the third corner, Sooners need a spark. Xavier Robinson would give it. He breaks out and finds treasure in the end zone. He makes it 25-20. Ole Miss still in the lead, but the Sooners really chipping away, needing some more momentum. X would give it to him. A 9-yard rushing touchdown on this halfback draw makes it 26-25 Sooners in the third. Ole Miss would storm back and regain the lead, and down 31-26. Isaiah Satania has a huge opportunity here on this punt. He makes one guy miss. It's a great return. He jumps in the air and fumbles the football. Rebels fall on it, and it would lead to them winning this ball game 34-26.
Aiden, this game was right there for the Sooners to grab, but they struggled to make the most of their time on offense. Sooner Sports Pad reporter Michael Thompson was at the game to tell us more about the missed opportunities.
A gloomy day in Norman. The sun did finally come out, but not for the Sooners. Despite scoring 2 touchdowns of over 60 yards for the first time in a game since November 2022, it wasn't enough as the Sooners could not capitalize on late game opportunities. Now the team and offense know that this loss is a tough one to take.
I mean, we had it. Like, we had the opportunity to do it, and I didn't get it done, and that's the most disappointing. Our team talk, he said, we got a lot of fighters in here, and nobody's going to just, lay down and give up. Nobody's going to give up. That's not who we are on this team. Take a moment to reset, reflect. We got to do it better. It starts with me.
I told him you're going to hate what you see on tape because of some missed opportunities. Not talking about having to go make a play. I'm just like doing the basics a little cleaner. And so we all going to have some regret, watching the tape. And he had at times had really good command, and then some other times where maybe we got a little bit rushed.
I mean, I told him, hey, let's keep on getting these guys going, keep up the energy, keep up the juice, and he was great throughout the entire game. Never too high, never too low. There's just, again, it just comes down to moments where, we got to execute better. Everybody, coaches, players alike, and so. But John's mentality throughout the whole game was really good.
Playoff chances, well, they've taken a hit, but with 4 games left and 4 ranked opponents, with some Sooner magic, if the Sooners can run the table, anything's possible. Reporting from Owen Field, Michael Thompson, Sooner Sports Pad.
OU's offense made Ole Miss's defense look great. The Sooners had 14 first downs compared to Ole Miss's 21 and went 4-14 on third downs. OU got their ground game going way too late in the game, only gaining 16 rushing yards in the first half. Overall, Cam, OU's offense looked terrible and had too many costly mistakes as a top 20 team.
Now, Hallie, OU's defense had an interesting day. They forced a turnover on downs, but they gave up 431 total yards and 34 points to Ole Miss at home. Sooner Sports Pad reporter Oliver Schaefer has more on OU's defensive performance.
Coming into today's game, the Sooners were the #1 ranked defense in the SEC. Ole Miss turned that into 431 total yards, 21 first downs, and 7 plays of 20 yards or more, which left Sooners fans with more questions than answers. So, what happened?
They were better than us. They called better plays and executed better. We needed to execute better on our side and make plays. I thought they made some plays, and we made some, but it's what was typical of the day when we needed to make a play, we got to stop, and then, we got a roughing. I have to look at it. I didn't like it in the moment, but we can't leave it in the officials' hands, and that turns into a field goal. And we are on the wrong side of it too often today.
Just overall, just defense, we have to be better. We knew coming in the game that third and fourth downs were going to be crucial, and so we just have to get out the field and help our offense with better field position.
I think you could choose from any one of those third down conversions, even the fourth and one conversion where we haven't backed up. If we get off the field there, we get the offense the ball at the 30, and that's points. So yeah, it definitely boiled down to a couple plays where, we'll watch the film back, but we gave them an opportunity to keep the door open when we should have shut it. So, disappointed from that standpoint, but a lot to learn from.
After a tough loss against the Ole Miss Rebels, the Sooners will travel to Knoxville to take on the Tennessee Volunteers on November 1st. Reporting from Owen Field, Oliver Schaefer, Sooner Sports Pad.
This Sooner defense definitely didn't perform like they have in weeks past versus the Rebels, but there were some bright spots. Kendall Daniels, who I'm going to talk about later in the show, absolutely balled out, recording 2.5 tackles for loss and 1 pass deflection in the loss.
Well, coming up, we'll talk everything good old Rocky Top, Tennessee. We'll also get a deep dive into a player who could be an X factor for the Sooners as they look to notch a huge road win Saturday. Don't go anywhere. Woo! Welcome back to Sooner Sports Pad. One Sooner really stood out and left his mark against Ole Miss, finding treasure twice. Natalie Roscoe has the story on OU football's possible X factor on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, Aiden, running back Xavier Robinson really became the Sooners' savior in the third quarter against Ole Miss, scoring twice in just 4 minutes to help OU take the lead. Although the Sooners fell short of glory, Robinson still got all the praise from his team.
Yeah, big guy. Really can run through trash. That's a guy who can run through trash for sure. Can't arm tackle him. You have to put a body on a body, and population of football. Like, you have to get people on him, or he's gonna break away how he did 2 days ago. But yeah, it's hard. I don't know what his weight is, but he feels like he's running at 280.
Oh, it was great to see, man. Just to see my boy Xavier get his feet wet, man. Bringing us back in that game. Had a long run. I was excited on that play, but it's definitely exciting to see, man. That room is definitely great, and it's a lot more to come.
I mean, you'll definitely see X out there. And, I thought he gave a real spark to the entire team, to the entire stadium. Just being tough to tackle, being physical, being violent, and popping off that big run. That was huge for the momentum of the game. It's awesome. It's the player that he is. He's big. He's strong. I mean, y'all saw he's pretty fast, too. He's talented. And so I'm excited to keep on getting X going.
Now, Robinson only had 9 carries in the game against Ole Miss, but I'm sure the Sooners would love to see more X's and O's drawn up involving the stout sophomore breaking through more trash against Tennessee this weekend. Aiden, back to you.
Thanks, Natalie. Let's take a look at the Volunteers' last game against the Kentucky Wildcats. Early on in the first quarter, Joey Aguilar would find Chris Brazel for this 35-yard touchdown, getting the scoring early at 7-0 Vols. And just a few plays later, Idris Farouk, the former Sooner Jaleel Farouk's cousin, picks off the QB and scores. It was just domination in Lexington. Vols win it 56-34. Now, Josh Heupel spoke to the media Monday and had good things to say about his alma mater. The former Sooner QB praised the current Sooner signal caller John Mateer, calling him a dynamic playmaker. Heupel also noted how good OU's defense is doing this year statistically. That Heupel offense versus Venables defense battle is going to be a fun one to watch. Now, Josh Heupel, the national championship winning Sooner, handed OU's first ever SEC conference loss last season in what was OU's first ever SEC conference game. Tennessee's defense forced 3 Jackson Arnold turnovers in the Vols' 25-15 win. Cam, what is this Heupel-led squad so good at this year?
Yeah, and the Sooners had their work cut out for them this week as they travel to Neyland Stadium at night, facing the #1 offense in the SEC. The Vols are averaging 510 yards per game, and the dynamic duo of Joey Aguilar and Chris Brazel II pose problems for this Oklahoma defense, but the Sooners are welcoming the challenge.
Every week you have to be able to let it go, the good and the bad. Every week is the biggest game of the year, so we just got to get back and work harder and get back to the drawing board and go down to Knoxville, and it's going to be fun. I love going away games, but more than home games, it's just fun, so it'll be fun going down there and, and playing in that atmosphere.
Cam, Tennessee has the 99th ranked total defense, so not as good as Ole Miss's, but close. In the Vols' last matchup with the Kentucky Wildcats, they allowed the worst team in the SEC to score 34 points. Tennessee's defense is beatable, but it really depends on what kind of OU offense and what kind of John Mateer will show up to Knoxville on Saturday. If their run game gets going like it did in South Carolina, it will be a good game. But for John Mateer, win or lose, it is still the game he loves.
There's an opportunity. I think that's all you can dream for as a man and as a football player. Just the opportunity to bounce back and to play. I mean, even with the loss, like it's fun to play football. You know, it's fun to be in the stand or be with the fans in this atmosphere. It's still fun. You know, and I reminded myself of that yesterday. Like it's still fun. You know, and it's still a great opportunity. I'm blessed to be here. So.
Halloween weekend, blackout jerseys, another elite offense at Neyland Stadium. It'll be a rocky drop out of the top 25 for OU. I'm taking Tennessee by 10.
Yeah, Aiden, there are a lot of factors against the Sooners right now, which is exactly why OU will win it even more. I have the Sooners by 10 for a major comeback.
Aiden, I'm going to side with you on this one. The inconsistent play by the offense will be too much to overcome. On the road for this Sooner defense, I've got the Vols by 7.
Now, it could be a very, very scary game for the Sooners. We got some scary costumes in our crowd tonight, but one of them impresses me the most. Ric Flair sitting right next to me. What made you go with this outfit of the 16-time world champion?
Well, Aiden, my daddy was a okay, excuse me. My idol was Ric Flair. My daddy's idol was Ric Flair. I've loved this man, and I will continue loving this man forever. Woo!
What made you decide to go with it? Like, was it just spontaneous, or have you been planning this?
I've been planning this for years. I've been planning this for all 20 years that I've been alive.
Well, I think it is a great outfit, and when Cam and Hallie come back from the break, they'll have a great interview with two members of the OU baseball team that you won't want to miss. Stick with us.
Woo! Yeah!
Welcome back to Sooner Sports Pad. Let's take a break from OU football and dive into another Sooner squad. Welcome this week's guest, OU baseball. Xander Mercurius is a freshman right-handed pitcher from Las Vegas, Nevada. He was ranked 4th in the state. His brother LJ is also a newcomer on the team, transferring in from UNLV. Connor Larkin's a freshman first baseman from Cherry Hills Village, Colorado. He was named 2025 Colorado Gatorade Player of the Year. We know our guest. Cam, Hallie, take it away.
Thank y'all so much for joining us at Sooner Sports Pad tonight. Now, both of y'all being freshmen, what made y'all choose Oklahoma?
Honestly, for me, it was just about like joining this coaching staff and like just coming to Norman because I love like the city. I came here on my visit, had a great time like watching a football game, got to be able to meet some of the fans and just see how much they cared about like Sooner sports, and it really made my decision validating, I guess. So really glad I came here, and it was a great choice.
I would say probably the coaches, the commitment they have to us, and then on my visit it felt like home. And I mean, we're playing in the top conference, so that was a big key factor as well.
Now, Xander, you're a pitcher. What's it like being coached by Coach Skip?
Oh, it's great. I mean, he has some unique ways to teach you, but like it's definitely knowledge that you need to learn. And it's definitely knowledge that I'm glad I'm learning from him. He's like he's such a great track record with the way he teaches and the way he coaches, and it's honestly just a great experience, and he's great.
Y'all are in the middle of y'all's Fall World Series. What have y'all learned so far in these scrimmages?
I would say I've learned that like you got to play a lot harder than you think, and that each day you got to get a little bit better if you want to compete against the best.
Yeah, coming from a pitching standpoint, I mean, it's honestly just great because I get to face all these great hitters every single day. So I think it's just about competing, and that's what we're doing right now, and it's going great. So
now y'all have 15 players returning from last season. How does that help going into this season?
I would say it helps a lot, and you know, it builds good, solid chemistry, and they can help us when we're struggling, and they can pick us up.
I think it helps us the most when it comes to like playing in a game, and like they've been there before. This last year was their first year in the SEC, so I mean we're all kind of new to it. So helping them or having them help us is just like exactly what we're looking for and exactly what they're doing right now. So it's great vibes.
And your brother already plays here. He's a junior. What is it like getting to play with him?
Oh, it's great. I mean, I get to see him mostly every day. I mean, we spend a lot of time together. It's great to have him here to cheer on, have someone to talk crap about, someone having me to keep me stable and keep me just ready to go.
And so what's the hardest transition from high school to college?
I would say probably the depth. You know, in high school you'll face a team and they'll have 1 or 2 solid guys, but here it's just every single guy could play anywhere.
Yeah, for me it's just about like talent-wise, I guess. I mean, pitching in high school was a lot different. Could have been a lot easier, but I mean, coming here, playing in the SEC, pitching against SEC type of hitters is going to be very hard. So, I mean, it's just great to face these guys now and then having to go into the season and be ready to go.
Now, outside of baseball, it's Halloween weekend this weekend. What are y'all dressing up for? What are the plans?
I'm not sure yet, you know, need to go Spirit, find a costume, and we'll see.
Yeah, I'm going to be Sandlot guy with who falls into the water. I don't know his name, but something with that. And then probably on like Friday for our game, our pregame costumes, I'll probably be like a prison person, hopefully, if I can find a costume.
I like it. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Good luck on the rest of your season.
Thank you.
Back to you.
Now, the OU baseball squad continues their fall slate Thursday and Friday with their Fall World Series, which is an inter-squad scrimmage. Guys, hopefully it doesn't go as long as the World Series game did on Monday night. When we come back from the break, we'll talk about former Sooners and other OU sports who are performing quite well. Don't go anywhere. Woo! Welcome back to Sooner Sports Pad. There's some scary Halloween costumes in the crowd tonight. There's also Sooners in the NFL and the NBA that have been a nightmare for opposing teams. We'll also talk some other OU sports who have performed recently. But again, the Sooners and the pros were terrifying defenses over the weekend. Jalen Hurts had a great game, and it all started in the second quarter with his short little 9-yard touchdown pass to Saquon Barkley. But he wasn't done. His 4th touchdown of the game went to Jahan Dotson 40 yards out. Look at that dot. 38-13. Eagles would end up winning that game 38-20. Huge win for the Eagles. Samaje Perine also had a nice game. He had 94 yards on the ground. And this touchdown, it's shades of his days at OU, but his Bengals would fall to the Jets 39-38 in a heartbreaker. Now, Austin Reeves had a career night for the LA Lakers Sunday against the Kings. He nearly had a 51-point triple-double. Reeves hit 60% of his shots from 3. He finishes with 51 points, 11 rebounds, and 9 assists. No Luka, no LeBron, no problem. Lakers win it 127-120. And Reeves also dropped 41 points last night. He's just on an absolute heater, Cam.
Yeah, Aiden, and speaking of hoops are back in Norman. OU basketball kicks off their season next Monday versus St. Francis, and they won their exhibition match versus 24th ranked Wisconsin 84-83 last Friday. But this season, head coach Porter Moser is calling for the help of the Crimson and Cream fans.
In this league, to be the best of the best and to go in where we got to go, we need your help to be wherever we're going. I think the fans are going to love this team. I think they're going to see how hard they work, how together they are, and we've got to sell out that arena night in and night out.
Cam, the OU volleyball team hasn't seemed to be digging up the wins lately. The Sooners are currently in a 7-game losing streak. The most recent loss was a 4-set match to Auburn in McCaslin Fieldhouse. Alexis Shelton and Camille Gibson did find some holes in the defense with 13 kills each. Amani Bush added 11 kills and 9 digs, and the Sooners now sit 4-6 in conference play and look for a bounce back at home against Arkansas Razorbacks tomorrow night.
We got it. When we come back, we'll have another edition of Face Off when Cam and Hallie go head-to-head yet again. You won't want to miss it. Welcome back to the show. It is time for Cam and Hallie to go head-to-head. Hallie is up 3-2 with only a few more shows to go. Let's dive into a spooky edition of Face Off. Cam, I'll start with you. I know not everyone is pleased with the offensive performance recently, but some Sooners still had a big game in the loss to Ole Miss. Who is your offensive MVP for last Saturday's game?
Yeah, and there's only one right answer, and I know it won't be Hallie's. It's Xavier Robinson. The sophomore from Carl Albert High School notched 9 carries for 109 yards and 2 touchdowns, highlighted by a 65-yarder in the third quarter to start the comeback for the Sooners. Throw up the X.
Robinson gets some playtime and gets a touchdown or 2, and now Cam chooses him as the MVP. My MVP is Isaiah Satania. Now, I know he had a little bump in the road in the fourth quarter, but he started out the game strong with a 76-yard touchdown in the first quarter. This play is what gave the Sooners some type of momentum.
The elite Brent Venables defense gave up 32 points in the loss, yet some Sooners still stood out. Hallie, who is your defensive MVP?
Yeah, Aiden, there was no Kip Six this game, but Kip Lewis is still going to be my defensive MVP. Lewis led the defense with a team and season high of 12 tackles, including 1 tackle for loss, making it difficult for Ole Miss to make big plays. It would be even better if any kind of turnover was involved, but who you got, Cam?
Hallie, that's the easy, obvious pick, but how about true freshman standout corner Cortland Guillory? Against the Rebels, Guillory had arguably his best game of the season as he shut down one side of the field with 3 pass breakups and half a tackle for a loss versus a top 10 team and no catches in court.
That was just an overall weird game against Ole Miss. A lot of surprises, Cam. I want to know what surprised you the most.
Yeah, Aiden, I'm not going to lie. Isaiah Satania fumbling. It was a key moment. The Sooners were down 31-26, and Isaiah Satania fumbled. You can't do that going into Neyland Stadium next week.
Yeah, I won't lie, Cam. That was definitely the icing on the cake for the Sooners, but what really took me by surprise was earlier in the game, OU setting up the perfect opportunity for Ole Miss's defense to get a safety. I don't know if it was a play calling or Blaylock running around in the end zone, but that 2 points for Ole Miss had a big impact.
All right, let's wrap this one up. Hallie, what are you looking for the Sooners to do against Tennessee to right their wrongs from last week?
Aiden, the offensive line had 2 freshmen starting, and they didn't do bad, but this O-line needs anyone they can get. Derek Simmons was ruled out against Ole Miss, was expected to make an impact, and cornerback Gentry Williams and wide receiver Keontez Lewis also out. The Sooners could use them against Tennessee.
Now, Hallie, last week the Sooners had 8 penalties for 52 yards, and it was highlighted by a defensive turnover, and then illegal formation, and then a safety. The Sooners can't do that going to Neyland Stadium facing Tennessee next week.
Well, it's time for our audience to decide this week's winner. If you think Cam won it, let me hear some noise. Oh, Hallie, it might be tough to beat that one. If you think Hallie won, let me hear you. Do it one more for Cam. I think I know. One more for Hallie. Guys, I think this one's fairly obvious this week. Cam Williams is this week's winner of Face Off. Thank you so much for watching Sooner Sports Pad. For Cam Williams and Hallie McPherson, I'm Aiden Tyler. We'll see you next Tuesday, same time, same place. Have a great night.